Q&A session. If you have those questions, get ready to ask them. You can start right now. We have our magical ritual cast that's going to collect everything that comes into Twitch chat. All you have to do is type the word question to precede your question, and I will get to all of them or as many of them as I can in the time that we have here today at the end of the stream. But first, we're going to talk about latest updates, what's upcoming, what's on deck, just like we do always do each and every week here. And so for latest updates this time, really excited that we have gotten out the phase 2 game compendium for Pathfinder Nexus. So really just very pleased with all the participation and the feedback that we've gotten so far with this. I love using it myself. It's really snappy and fast and easy to find all the things I'm looking for when I'm playing Pathfinder. So we've got that out. We've got some reader and search enhancements that I'll also talk about. And all of that, what is really great about those is those are all due to some feedback and due to the process of early access that we're doing here. So I'm going to call that out and talk through that. And then we'll take a look at the early access roadmap, where we are and what's going on with content and so on. So like I said, if you have questions, then definitely ask those now, preceded by the word question. All right, let's jump right in. So latest updates. We put out the game compendium listings last week. I hope you have had a chance to check those out. Really love using them. Like I said, we've gotten a ton of positive feedback out there. We appreciate that. We've gotten feedback that has told us, hey, this is missing this piece of data and so on. So all of that is incredibly helpful, and that is why we test. That's why we have this early access period. And so we've been fixing those as quickly as they pop up, kind of like a whack-a-mole on all that. And that means that as we get closer and closer to launch, everything is going to be in a really pristine place and really great for us to be able to have the most comprehensive and easy to use way to access Pathfinder rules out there. So game compendium listings live last week. Thanks again for trying those out. And please continue to keep us posted on if you have any other feedback there as well. We are working on the game compendium, the other piece of the game compendium that we call primers. And primers are going to be, whereas listings are for some of the smaller and more straightforward game elements, like spells and items and so on, the primers are for the things that have a little more complexity. So these are classes and ancestries, heritages, archetypes. All of those things are where you're going to see that coming together in the primers. And so the primers are going to be your one-stop shop for everything having to do with those different parts of the game. So on classes, you'll be able to go there, and if you're looking at Barbarian, you're going to see everything about the Barbarian, not just from the core rulebook, but from any other source that talks about barbarians throughout the rest of this. So what's going on in the Advanced Player's Guide, if as different options are continually added throughout any other products that come down the Paizo pipeline, then all of that is going to be gathered in that one place. And so primers, we're really excited about them. They are coming together. They're looking great already. And so we're getting very close to, I heard that there's apparently a drinking game or something out there. And so it's, a little different. And now that it's meta that I know about the drinking game, I don't know if it's fair because I could just make everybody get incredibly drunk out there. But those are going to be here soon. And we'll keep you posted on exactly when primers are going to be available for you to get your hands on. But definitely soon. See, that's 2 already. All right, so we also went live with some reader tweaks. So for the digital reader, which was phase 1, what we have released, we have gathered a ton of feedback across thousands of people using the reader. And again, we really, really appreciate all the help during this early access period. But one of the things that we have been able to discover because of all that testing and use in the community, we have seen some places where we could really get some performance improvements. And so we found a really, really big one this last week, and we've pushed a change live in the reader. So you probably already noticed if you've been using it a lot, but the reader is moving really, really snappy now, which is a really great thing. We are going to continue to polish the reader. We have other things that are going to be, coming online that are going to help with that. Different loading icons when you click things. So again, lots of polish coming before we get to launch. But we had a huge step forward this last week in performance, where we've got a chapter in the core rule book that it's chapter 11, if I'm remembering properly. But chapter 11 is the crafting and treasure chapter. And this is just a massive, massive chapter. And so we had started looking down the road of, do we need to split this chapter into different parts? It was kind of hard to do that because there wasn't a ton of consistency in how we could make that split. But this performance improvement has that from loading over several seconds to loading in a couple of seconds. So this is the kind of thing that makes developers really, really excited when they discover this. And it's maybe something that us who are not developers, we just take for granted sometimes. But this was a huge, huge step forward. And we found it because of this early access process. So really, really happy with that. We're going to continue to look for ways to make it more accessible and more convenient as we go towards launch. Another big thing that is happening during early access is what's going on with search on Pathfinder Nexus, and really just search across the entire Demiplane platform, because we are getting the pieces in place for this to be incredibly powerful, incredibly fast. Just whatever you need to find, you will be able to find it at the drop of a hat. And so right now, you might search for something and you're not getting the best results. It's really great that, again, you're helping us test here, because first of all, the search engine is learning as you're doing that. But then also, we have started the process, and this last week we had a new round of changes there too, where we are providing rules for the search engine that is going to continue to make it better and better and better. So by the time we get to launch, we're going to be in a really, really great place with search. And that is often influenced by what you are out there searching in early access. So we're able to see what the popular search terms are, what behavior people have as they're searching. And so, first of all, the algorithm itself can learn, but then also we can take a look at that data and apply a human touch to it and some tender, loving care, and we're able to really start tweaking search. And so, we're really excited about where it is trending. And like I said, by the time we get phase 3 complete and we are moving into full launch for Pathfinder Nexus, this is going to be a really, really powerful tool. And so we've made some tweaks this last week on that too. And then work in progress. So we do have pending. So I've got a little bit of an update here. So we are working on Lost Omens content that has been submitted to the first 3 of those I had told you had been submitted to Paizo for review. And actually, the update there is we were able to end up sending 6 books to Paizo for review. So right now they are still in Paizo's inbox. They've provided some feedback. We're making some adjustments, but we do expect the first 6 Lost Omens books, and you can see them listed on the screen there. So those first 6 books will be available very soon. And then we have, I think that leaves us with 4 other Lost Omens books that are at least currently released. So we have some ones that aren't released yet. I saw an announcement for a new book that's coming in September that looks really exciting. But like all of the things that are currently available out there, I think there are 4 others, if my math was right. And we plan to get all of those to Paizo before the end of this week. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, barring any problems that we need to go in there and address. We're going to have the entire catalog of Lost Omens content available in early access on Pathfinder Nexus. Very, very excited to see that all come together. I love those books. They have some really great content in them, and love the look and feel of those books, and I love the way that they look in Pathfinder Nexus, and can't wait for you to get eyes on them as well, and we'll keep you posted on all of that. All right, upcoming. So looking at our roadmap and what's going on there, the 3 phases with digital reader, game compendium, and character management. As I just shared, we are definitely in the middle of this game compendium piece. And with I wanted to also call out that as we are getting to the primers and we're starting to cover those more complex parts of the game, another thing to keep in mind as we continue to move forward is the game compendium will have other elements in it too. So we are going to see listings for other game elements in the future. So we've seen some feedback come through that, like, hey, what about actions? Hey, what about conditions and some of the other kinds of game elements? Absolutely, those are going to be found in the game compendium, and you'll be able to freely access them, just like you can any other part of the game compendium. All of that will be coming. We just focused on some of those game elements that people tend to want to find out about first. So we just have a prioritized list of game elements that we're working through, but we do plan to introduce other types of those as we go down the road too. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. Don't know the timing on it yet, but it is fully intended and fully planned, and we will add more elements as we go down the road. And then character management, we are meeting, we are conceptualizing, we are starting to develop. There are some exciting things that are going to be coming together here. It's the time in this process, because I've lived something similar to this before in my former life, but it's the time in the process that really is just exciting. It's this new green field that you're going to plow. And I love, with the benefit of hindsight, understanding what works and what maybe didn't work as well, and being able to have that knowledge as we're moving into character management for Pathfinder Nexus, but also an engine that's going to power all of the Nexuses that we're going to have in the future. It really is an exciting time. So lots of smiles, lots of adrenaline going as we're really starting to dig into the development here. So we're going to keep you posted on that. It's probably not going to be too terribly much longer before you start seeing some early concept mocks, because we would love to get some early feedback to make sure that we're scratching the right itches and pulling the right threads with that. But more on that soon, and can't wait for that to unfold in the coming months. And then finally, not to forget about some really great things that are coming with World of Darkness Nexus, Free League Nexus, and even others that we haven't announced yet for this year. Really excited about what is happening there. And keep in mind that as we are doing this, we're building this as a platform. So when it comes to the digital reader and the game compendium, those are things that are likely going to come online for some of these other games in early access, and we're going to follow a very similar pattern to what we are doing here with Pathfinder Nexus. So you will see some of those things come, and some of them will be done. We'll start working on those in parallel, because once we get that part of the platform up and running, we are able to have other team members, game content team, and so on, come in and start using the platform to make some of these other games happen. So we'll share more news on that as we go forward, but can't wait to get our hands on some of these other incredible games out there as well. All right. I think that is everything on update land. And so now I am going to check out whether we have any questions. Right now, I only have one question. So I am going to be able to get out of here really, really fast today and get back to work. But if you have any other questions, feel free to ask those now. Type question in front of the question itself, and we will collect those here in the special little tool that we have to do that. So question, ask your question, we'll get it here. But like I said, that's fine too. If there are no questions, then we will get back to work too. All right, Anchor 89, content sharing. Will that be before early access is finished, or will it be once Nexus goes full release? That is a really good question, and it's hard for us to answer that yet because it's dependent on several factors. So, what I can tell you is that we do not see a full release happening without content sharing in place. So, I'm very confident about that part, but it is going to kind of depend on when the different pieces, the different trains coming into the station, when they arrive specifically on when that's going to happen. So it could happen during the early access phase. It could be something that happens to coincide with full release. Like I said, the only thing that we know for certain at this point is it's going to be hard for us to call something a full release without content sharing in place. But yeah, when that's going to come along in the process, we're moving on all the fronts, and so whenever content sharing is in a place where it is ready and we can introduce it in the appropriate way, then we are going to go ahead and do that. And so that could be ahead of a full release, or it could be before or coincide with it. But very good question. Either way, it's coming. Content sharing is a very important part of what we're doing. We want to make sure that we can simulate that feeling of gathering around the table and sharing books that someone has bought. So we're doing the virtual version of that for sure. Rex Verdi. If a train leaves Chicago going 90 miles an hour at the same time a train leaves LA going 85 miles per hour, how many chicken wings can you eat in one sitting? So, chicken wings in one sitting, that's a very good question. And I am trying so hard right now to get back in some form of fighting shape. I've lost, 15 pounds or so in the last 6 to 8 weeks, I think. But so I can't do this anymore. Or let me rephrase, I probably could do it, but I don't know if I want to do it. So I'm about to talk about my shameful past here in some ways. But I believe in one sitting that I have eaten definitely over 50, and I think I was approaching 60 chicken wings in my younger days. So I am a huge chicken wing fan, though, and buffalo sauce is my favorite, sauce-like substance on the planet for sure. So thanks for that question. And as far as the math goes with that question, I'm not even trying. So Phoenix D Black, will specific rules like attacks of opportunity, etc., be available in the compendium? This is a great question as well. And those are the kinds of things that we would see ourselves adding. We want the game compendium to be a comprehensive place to find game mechanics for Pathfinder. And so those types of things, they're definitely on the list, and they're things that we're planning to add. These are also things that will probably end up with tooltip treatment. So, if it's in the compendium in that way, then you're reading somewhere in the reader, you see something like attack of opportunity spelled out in the content, you would have a tooltip, and it would, allow you to quickly view those details. Oh, that was something that I forgot in the, latest updates segment. It reminded me when I was talking about tooltips there, we've also, as we have implemented the new side bar navigation that we have in the reader, another thing that we have done is some resizing on tooltip elements. So dynamically resizes based on the content. It's a really, really slick thing. It's something that is going to be a nice thing to reuse as we get into character management. So some exciting things happening on that front as well. But yes, specific rules like that are things that absolutely will find a home in the game compendium, at least over time. Our Darkade. Will Free League Nexus come in 2022 or is it planned for later in the future? I typically do not do dates here, but you are being graciously, unspecific enough with this date that I can say yes. There is unless we enter some kind of mutant year zero ourselves in the real world and we're all in the apocalypse. Yes, we plan for Free League Nexus to at least launch into early access this year. That one is a very very certain thing. And so yes, we will. We have big plans for what's going on with Free League Nexus, and that is enough of a window without specificity that I'm comfortable to say that our trailer said coming in 2022, and there is no reason to believe that anything will be different with that target. Anchor 89, so you're saying soon. Yes, soon. Trademarked soon. All right, and Phoenix D Black, not really a question, but creatures in 2 can be heightened or lower in level. Will that be available in the compendium to toggle? Yes, that is also on the list. And for some reason, I am completely blanking on what the weaker version of a creature is called. Somebody will be able to help me out in chat, I'm sure. But the elite version of a creature. Maybe it's because when I run games, I never use the weaker versions of creatures. I always go right for the elite, and so cause a lot of problems for the players. But yes, being able to go higher, lower like that is something that is planned, and we will incorporate that as soon as we are able in the game compendium. We'll keep you posted on that. All right, I'm going to give it 10 more seconds here to see if there are any other questions. That gets me to the end of the list. And otherwise, we are going to go and we are going to get back to work on. We have piles and piles of it. We're going to be doing our best to get these first 6 Lost Omens books into your hands as quickly as we can. And so we're going to be working on a lot of that today, and we will share that news as soon as we have it and as soon as we have those available for pre-order in early access. All right. That is all we have for today. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate the questions as always, and we will continue to come back next week and keep you posted on all things Demiplane, everything that's going on with Pathfinder Nexus Early Access, and any other fun things that pop up that we are able to, one of these days eventually be able to talk about. So looking forward to it. Thanks. Later, Gators.